Hi, hello, namaskara. In today's session, again we are studying chapter number 3, current electricity. Here we are focusing today only on the electric current in the conductor. To start with, we have to focus some points what we have read in the last class. Okay, we have seen the basic definition of a current, that is when net charges made to flow through any cross section of a conductor with respect to time. I can say it's a current. Therefore I can written here I is equal to q divided by t is the equation. Sometimes the current is also unsteady, then we are calling it as a unsteady current, otherwise instantaneous current. We are writing here I of t is equal to dq divided by dt. Always current is a function of time. Similarly, we have seen the what is the SI unit for the current. SI unit for the current is what now? It's a ampere we have seen. And another parameter, always remember that current is a scalar quantity. Current is a scalar quantity. But one question will arise, that when we have seen any network, something like this one, that is a bulb connected with the battery, and we are showing always this is the direction of the current. This is right, but this direction only shows in which direction we are getting the current. That doesn't tell us that current is a vector quantity. Therefore, current is always a scalar quantity. Similarly, we know another thing, that current is having the direction always opposite to the direction of the motion of an electron. For example, if electron is moving in this direction, always the current is in the opposite direction. This is the known things from the last session. Now, we must be eager to understand this chapter, because if we see some natural phenomena in the nature that leads to the, otherwise that is due to the current. For example, generally we have read that earth is having a magnetic field. Then question will arise, what is the reason behind that? The reason is very simple, due to the flow of current. The question will arise again, why, how the current will flow and where it will make the magnetic field. Remember, around the earth there is a ionosphere and it contains the ions. As a result, it doesn't keep quiet anytime, because earth is continuously revolving. As a result, that ionosphere ions also moving, therefore that brings the current. From the 10th class we know that when there is a motion of an electron, that brings us the magnetic field, and that is the reason behind the earth's magnetic field. Similarly, another interesting phenomena, that is in the thundering we are getting the current of nearly 10,000 ampere. Similarly, in our human body also few microampere of current we are getting in our nerve. These are some scientific, otherwise points which leads us to focus, otherwise explore our science uh, behind the current electricity. Therefore, in today's chapter again we move forward with some note now. Okay, that is, as already I told you that today we are dealing with the conductors. But when we classify the material on the basis of conductivity, we can do in two things. One is conductors and another thing is what now? Insulator. In conductors, what will happen? Where the electrons can be flown easily, but when I get into the insulator it doesn't happen, right? I'm not focusing much on the insulator because we have read much of it in our lower classes and they are distinguished also, but I want to focus only on the conductor throughout this chapter. Now before getting into our theoretical part, we must understand, otherwise we must develop another concept of electric field. We have read it, but we have to understand in more detail so that we can understand the further points what we are studying today. Okay, therefore we start with the definition of the electric field. That is, it is the space around the charge. It's not a conductor, so it's a wrong thing. It's a charge. It is the space around the charge where we can experience the what now here? Electric force. It is the space around the charge where we can experience the electric force. If I say like this one, you won't understand. Therefore, we go through some familiar example. That is, I take the example of the magnet. Okay, which is having north pole and south pole. When I drop some metal pieces around that, what will happen from our childhood days? We know that it's always attracted towards the poles. Is it right now? Means we are observing these metal pieces are experiencing the force, means they are accelerating and move towards the poles, because we know that around the magnet there is always a magnetic field that leads these particles to move. Similarly, we are having a charges also. For example, if I take a positive charge, okay, we have seen some electric fields like this one around that now. Okay, now similarly, if I draw another charge, that one is a negative. I want to bring the difference between them. Let us see that now. Okay, this is how we are drawing the electric field lines for the negative charge. Now what I will do, I'll draw, otherwise I'll bring a very small positive charge. Now we know that when I bring positive and positive charge, will it attract a repeller? Yes, we know that they get repelled. Means when I brought this into this electric field, when I bring this charge in the electric field, this new charge will experiences the force. Okay, therefore now I'll repeat again, it is the space around the charge where we can experience the electric force. Okay, and this field we are calling it as electric field. Similarly, if I brought again positive charge near to the negative charge, it will attract. Again the same story, but it is a attraction. Now what will happen, this charge will experiences the force, otherwise it is accelerating in the vicinity of what now here, electric field. One point I want to clear from all this discussion, that is, when I take a charge into the electric field, it is always experiencing the force. Now how to represent in our diagrams, that is, generally, we are showing the electric field in this way in many books or in some representation. For example, if we are having two plates, that is positive, 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 and if I take it here negative, 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 the electric field always shown from, remember, positive to the negative. This is how we are representing the electric field. There may be changes in the shape. Sometime it may be cylindrical, it may be sometime a plate also, no difference, but electric field always shown in this way only most of the time, to make it in a simple way. Sometime they won't give any plate, but even though they will show the electric field, something like this one. Understood? This also shows the electric field, but always one point, remember, if they show like this way, then this is always a positive side and this one is always a negative side. They won't mention, but we have to understand this factor. Okay, now with this note, we are ready to understand the concept of conductors. Okay, now in conductors, there are three types we are studying. One is solid conductor, thereafter liquid, and thereafter gaseous conductor. First, we are focusing on only solid conductor. When I get into the solid conductors, if I ask you what are the examples for the solid conductors, first example will come in your mind. That one is a metal. That is 100% right. No wrong with that now. But when I visualize the structure of any solid conductor, how it is, where the atoms and the molecules are very closely arranged. Okay, that is a systematic way they are arranged. But another practical observation has been done, that, for example, if we are having a atoms, I'm showing here schematically, if these are some atoms, okay, there are some free electrons always present, which are always wandering in the vicinity of this one continuously. And these electrons, otherwise these free electrons connected to this atom, we are calling it as what now here, it's a free electrons. These electrons we are calling it as here free electrons. Therefore, in solid conductors, these free electrons, otherwise we are calling it as a valence electrons, which are loosely bounded to the nucleus, are always responsible for making a current. Okay, now if I make the same charges to move in a particular direction, then I can able to get a current. But the question will arise, how to do that? That is very simple. That is by applying the electric field. From the last point we know that when I bring the electrons, otherwise charges, into the electric field, they will experience the force and they will accelerate, and this acceleration leads to a particular direction, and that results in a current. That is very clear with the solid conductor. But at this juncture, another doubt will arise for us. What is that now? Okay, when I am not applying the any electric field, what will happen with the electrons? Will they keep quiet or they are under motion? I can split into two discussions. That is, when they are under rest, let us say when they are rest, okay, let us assume that they are under rest. When we are not applying an electric field, then there is no question of current, because if there is no motion of the charges, otherwise electrons, I can say there is no current. But interestingly, if I assume that these electrons are under motion, then very interestingly another question will arise. If they are under motion, who are responsible for them to have a motion? That is another question. Okay, that is nothing but practically observe that these electrons always under motion, and this is due to the temperature effect. That is, I can say it's the room temperature effect. Due to the room temperature, these electrons are completely wandering, otherwise are in a random motion in a conductor always. Therefore, these electrons we are calling it as thermal electrons. These electrons we are calling it as thermal electron, and with which motion they are moving, they are calling it as, with what velocity they are moving, they are called as thermal velocity. Therefore, remember this point, that is, these electrons which are under random motion due to the effect of temperature will be called as thermal electron, and the velocity with which they are moving, that will be a thermal velocity. Try to remember this symbol. I think I will be using a small letter of U for the thermal velocity in the further classes. If I show you the diagram in the way of diagram, let us say these are the electrons, which are thermal electrons, and already I told you they are having some velocity. Okay, if I want to show the direction of them, this will be look like this one. It will somewhere look like this one. You can see they are under now random motion. Okay, now one point is clear, that necessary condition to get a current is what now? Yes, electron must be in a proper direction. Okay, and they are under motion. One condition is satisfied, they are under motion. Yes, that leads to the current. But are they in the single, otherwise definite direction, or in the random direction? We have seen here they are in the random direction and they are not making a current. If I ask you the same thing scientifically, what will happen if I take the example of somewhere 3 electron, let us say, sorry, 6 electrons? What will happen if this is a conductor, they are under random motion? If these are free electrons, then what will happen? These electron will come here. Similarly, this is also coming here somewhere here. Similarly, it is also coming here. Now again, it is also move towards this position, and it is also move towards this position, and it is also move towards this position. At this position, what will happen? They are undergoing what now here? Collision. And generally we are assuming this collision as a inelastic collision. We know that in inelastic collision, what will happen? Energy is conserved and the momentum is conserved. After the collision, what will happen? This electron moving in this direction, similarly this electron move in this direction, this is also move in this direction, this electron will move in this direction. Means what will happen? If three electrons move in one direction after the collision, then there must be, after the collision, three electrons must move in the opposite direction. As a result, net motion of the electron will be nullified. If I bring the same thing in the mathematical way, if I put average velocity for this charge as v and for this one also as v, then if I want to write the answer for that, then v minus of v, because they are in the opposite direction. If you remember the idea of the calculation of the velocity of the addition, that is mathematics behind the velocity calculation, then what will happen now? V minus of v, therefore answer is how much now? 0. Similarly it is also v, similarly it is also of v, therefore again v minus v, I'm taking another word, that is the average velocity is always 0. Similar here, if I take it v, here if I take it as v, again v minus v, again it is 0. Therefore this is the mathematical idea, otherwise scientific reason why the current is not observed for the thermal electrons, because the effect will be nullified. Okay, these are some idea behind the solid conductors. Now we move towards the next one, that means a liquid conductors. In liquid conductors, if I ask you the example, generally in bikes we are having a liquid batteries, that is a one of the example where I can observe some liquid conductors. Here, who are the charge carriers? That is the first question. Here positive ions and negative ions are the charge carriers, remember. Therefore in this one, positive ions and the negative ions are the charge carriers. Similarly in a gaseous conductor, what are the charge carriers now? Try to think of it now. In chemistry, I think in your school days we have done many experiments regarding the discharge tube, where the tube is filled with some gas, right, where we are sending a current, otherwise we are sending a light, so that that gas undergoing what now? Ionization. We have read it. Therefore there is a splitting of two types of ion, that is a positive, again same thing, positive ions and the negative ions, but we are adding another one, is positively charged ions. Positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. Therefore these are the charge carriers in the gaseous conductor. In with all this discussion, we can come to one conclusion, that in conductors, insulators and the solids, liquids and gaseous, in all the three formats we are getting the current due to sometimes ions and sometimes due to the electrons. But in our discussion, as per our syllabus, we are only focusing on the conductor itself only. Therefore now we have to focus only on the conductors now onwards, that is only for the solid one. Okay, now one point is clear, in solid conductors, who are the charge carriers? Electrons are the charge carriers. Then if I make them to move, then that will lead to the current. But another question will arise, how can I make them to move in a particular direction? Because in a last discussion we have seen that electrons are under random motion. We have to make them in a single direction, otherwise the definite direction. Okay, to make them in a particular otherwise definite direction, we are taking one small activity. I think that may clear our problem now. For that, I'll take some cylindrical conductor. Let us say r be the radius of it now. R be the radius of my cylindrical conductor. Okay, now here in this one we are taking only a reference as electron motion, because we are not taking the ions here. Now tell me, are they under systematic motion or in the random motion? If you see the diagram, I think at this scenario they are under what now? Random motion. Then what to do to give a particular direction? Remember last discussion in the beginning that I told you one technique that will be help that charge to make in a motion in a particular direction. That is the technique of bringing the electric field that leads to the current. Now how can be done? Okay, for that what we will do, will provide the same ends of the cylinder with the what now, two solid discs. Okay, that is one disc is connected, otherwise attached to the one face that is completely positively charged. One disc is connected to this phase and this is completely positively charged. Similarly, we'll take another disc which is completely negatively charged and that will be attached to this phase. Now try to understand what will happen now. Yes, the idea is very simple. All these electrons leads towards positive plate or the negative plate. In the diagram we can see that all the electrons leads towards what now? Positive plate itself. Means these electrons move towards the positive plate and fit with this what now? Positive charge. As a result, the charges are under motion and they get fitted with this charge, positive charge, then effect will be nullified. Means the motion of the electron what we are observing for a short interval of time until they move and they will nullify with this positive charge. But what is our aim? I want to get the current for a longer time. Here is problem that due to this disk we can get the current for a very short interval. Then I want to get the current for a longer time. How can we do that? Okay, means here we have to give, or we have to provide a continuous fresh charges at the end. We have to provide the fresh charges at the end, and that fresh charges will leads to very interesting factor, because if I add a fresh charges continuously, that maintains the continuous a steady electric field inside the conductor, and the motion of the electron in the conductor will happen continuously, and we will get the current continuously and steady also. Then what is the mechanism that will provide us the fresh charge? That is nothing but very interesting electrical equipment. That is nothing but the battery. Battery is a instrument which brings us, or which provides the fresh charge continuously across the ends of the conductor and gives us a necessary steady current. This is how we can understand to get the current. Two things are always necessary. That first one is there must be a charge carriers and presence of electric field. That is, to have a current there must be two necessary condition. First one, there must be charge carrier. If there is no presence of charge carriers, there is no current. And if there must be presence of electric field, then only I can make these charges to experience the force and make them to accelerate in a particular direction, and we will obtain the current. Okay, this is the discussion on the current in the conductors today. In the next session we are getting into the very important aspect, that is current electricity for the what now Ohm's law. Okay, thank you.